Hello friends and welcome back to my channel. This quick little video will be about the tech I use as a student. If you're looking to buy a new laptop or thinking in general how to set up your devices to work for you when you're studying, then keep watching. That being said, make sure to leave a like below and let's get right into the video. First up is my MacBook. What I typically do on it in terms of studying is note-taking, attending Zoom classes when that's the case, research, typing all of my essays and papers on it, as well as typing almost all of my emails on it. Now you may notice that a lot of my activity on this MacBook involves typing, and it's indeed an absolute dream to type on. There are several reasons why I like this MacBook. First of all, it's very lightweight and portable. The 13-inch screen is more than enough for what I have to do, what I need to do as a student. It's also very silent. When performing normal tasks that you would normally do as a student, you never hear the fans running. Generally, the form factor also allows you to look at other people. This is very important if you're carrying this to lectures or to seminars and you want to take some notes, you want to type on it, but still want to have a conversation and participate in class. Now I went for the MacBook Pro simply because I do quite a lot of video editing as well as some more intensive graphic work. But if you're a student and you're looking for a laptop, you're just taking notes, typing your essays, doing research and maybe doing just a little bit of light photo editing, then I would suggest you go with the MacBook Air. That's more than enough. It doesn't even have a fan, so you'll never have to worry about it being noisy. The screen is the same size. It doesn't go as bright as the MacBook Pro, but that is never a problem in the environment of a lecture hall or in your room or at a library. So purely from the viewpoint of a student, the MacBook Pro completely meets my needs, and I'm sure that the MacBook Air would actually meet my needs perfectly. In terms of editing, the MacBook Pro 13 is quite a good machine for that. Now, the MacBook Pro 14 and 16 are out now, and those are much better for video editing, so if that's what you're looking for, then make sure to look into the 14-inch model. For now, I'll be sticking with this. One thing I would suggest if you're doing any video editing would be to get the 1TB version. It usually only happens when I've got a couple of projects that I'm working on at the same time. You can also expand it with an SSD, with an external SSD, so that's not that big of a deal. But simply as a student, the MacBook Air should cut it for you, and the MacBook Pro if you need that little bit of extra power for doing different other graphic tasks. Alright, so next on the list is my 9.7-inch iPad from 2018. This 2018 iPad serves me very well in 2 or 3 very specific situations. The first one is when I want to read scientific articles in a more relaxed way than reading them on my laptop screen. What I usually do is airdrop the journal articles from my laptop to the iPad, and then I take the Apple Pencil, I use it to underline and make notes on top of that document directly. It's a very good way to save some paper, also have a very different reading experience than reading on the laptop screen, which is not very comfortable to always look down. With the iPad you can also hold it up a little and type like that, and it really helps relieve back pain as well. Generally just a more comfortable reading experience. I don't use it at all to read literature for long extended periods of time. I just use it specifically for this case because I have to read a lot of journal articles, a lot of secondary literature that usually takes about 1 or 2, maximum 3 hours a day in my busy periods when I'm writing the papers or when I'm preparing for a presentation, and then it really comes in handy. The second situation in which it proves to be very useful is when I'm practicing with my band. Now I play in a jazz band and I usually need sheet music to have a look at it while I'm playing. Recently I've tried to just take this with me and not print stuff on paper anymore. It also has a smaller form factor. It's also more flexible because if my bandmates share something via email or to the group, I can just download the sheet music to this device on the spot and have it in front of me, which is a very convenient way of doing it. The third use case where the iPad proves to be very useful is when traveling. I like to watch movies when I'm on flights or long bus rides or train rides, and I really hate watching movies on a very small screen like a phone screen. On this, it's a much more comfortable experience. You can watch your favorite shows on it. It's a bit of a guilty pleasure. You can do without that. You can listen to something while traveling or read something or read a book. But aside from content consumption, it's also very useful for productivity on the go. If you're traveling somewhere and you need that little bit of extra battery life and you run out of battery on your laptop, then an iPad might come in handy to give you a bit of extra time to type some emails and do some more work, type some ideas, which you wouldn't have otherwise. You would have to wait to get to a plug in order to plug in the laptop and then continue doing the work that you have to do. But like this, because the battery on the bigger iPads is so good, it can last you even 2 days. So you've got 2 days of extra potential productivity on your hands if you need it when you're traveling, which is a very cool benefit, really. Now, the third and final tech item I use as a student is obviously my phone. This is the iPhone 11 Pro. I got it used this year at some point in May for about 500 euros. I use this every day. Needless to say, it's the thing that I almost always have in my hands when I'm on the go and I have to type emails, when I have to answer messages, and when running between classes and work and meetings and going out with people. It's the most useful thing by far. In fact, I'm having second thoughts on that. My MacBook might actually be the most useful one, but nonetheless, this one is a very useful item. In terms of how it helps me study better, well, it helps me coordinate with my classmates on various activities. Secondly, I almost always listen to something when I'm on the go or when I'm at the gym. I listen to reports and news from The Economist. I listen to books on Audible. I also listen to podcasts on Spotify, and those are my 3 top sources of knowledge when I'm on the go. I really love listening to information. I retain it very well that way. And whenever I'm listening to something, I'm listening it from my iPhone. In terms of other activities apart from studying, I of course use it to take pictures. It takes great pictures, and I use it all the time for my Instagram. I also film a lot with it for my short videos on social media, my YouTube shorts, the Insta Reels, as well as my TikToks. Make sure to follow me on TikTok if you haven't. I've recently started uploading quite constantly there little study tips. So yeah, it's generally the thing I rely on when it comes to communication, and communication is crucial, especially when you're a student. Alright, so these have been the 3 items that I use in terms of tech as a student. I'm of course very grateful for being able to afford these items. I didn't get all of them at once, and also I didn't upgrade every time a new device came out. This one's from 2018. This one is the iPhone 11 Pro, which I got used, and the MacBook Pro 13 is the newest one. And it's something I really invested in because I do video editing. At some point in spring, I got the MacBook. I realized how good it was with the new M1 chip, how silent, how small, yet so powerful. And then I switched to the Apple ecosystem completely, and I never looked back. While I know these are all Apple devices and not everyone can afford them, they have actually become more affordable recently, especially if you get them used. And the main message of this video, if there was to be a message to a video like this, I think would be that you don't need to upgrade every time. Some devices can actually serve you for years and years, and I'm not planning on changing my MacBook Pro 13 or my iPad or my iPhone 11 Pro until they break, because they just work, and why would I change them? So if a device you really use is broken and you're looking to upgrade, I would recommend to upgrade to an Apple device. Also, you can look on the used market if you can find a good deal on a device that you can check that it's genuine and that it's in good working order. So that would be all from me. If you enjoyed this video and it gave you some inspiration for your studying setup, then give this video a like. Subscribe to my channel for more videos like this. I do videos on studying, productivity, and sometimes tech, apparently. And I'll catch you in my next one. Bye bye.